This video contains content that some might find disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised. Crisp autumn air, cotton candy, hot cider, the arm of a gorgeous date to lean into. It's almost impossible to believe in moments like these that something dark could be just under the surface. Tonight, our narrator will come face to face with that cruel reality. I'm Ryan Bergara, and this is Are You Scared? A show where I tell my friend Shane Madej the internet's scariest stories. So lock your doors, turn off the lights, and let's see if we can make it till the end of the night. Someone in the crowd. I haven't been dating this guy long, but he's on his way to pick me up for some mystery date. 10 minutes before he said he'd be here, he rings my apartment. Early. Perfect.
Rude.
I don't know, it's not rude, it's just you're kind of showing your hand a little bit. You want to play it cool. You don't want to show up to a date super early. You look eager.
45 minutes late. You pull into the driveway, you honk your horn.
Don't even get out?
No.
Mari's dad had a guy come pick up Mari for a date, didn't get out of the car, honk the horn, and her dad was like, you're not going on that date.
Of course.
Don't get out there.
No, rude.
Was comfortably late for you.
3.5 minutes late. It lets him know, like, I'm basically on time.
Yeah, but I'm still busy.
Oh, you think you're the most important thing in the world?
I got a lot of appointments.
I had to stop at the Citgo.
I buzz him up. He knocks lightly on the door before letting himself in. No hesitation to hear my response. And suddenly, he's standing behind me, holding a bouquet of white roses and small blue flowers. He hugs me from behind as I finish touching up my hair. You look gorgeous, he whispers, and I smile. His cologne smells like cedar maybe, or amber. He follows me out into the kitchen and I trim the flower stems as a vase fills in the sink. We go over our plan for the night. Italian at the new place on 4th Street, and when we're done with that, we'll head to our second destination, he says. You're still not gonna tell me where we're going, I say, my tone jokingly exasperated. Nope, he grins. I roll my eyes. Well, is this outfit going to be okay for this mystery date? He looks me up and down before taking my hand. I guess we'll find out, won't we?
Red flags all around. This guy's
What, because he brought flowers?
I don't like
Because he's a
this
nice
man.
guy?
Well, he enters without waiting for a response.
Yeah.
He goes, and then he's behind her with a bouquet of flowers?
Wait, that's true. Suddenly he's standing behind me holding a bouquet.
Like the most,
Is he fucking Nightcrawler? How the fuck did he do that?
Anytime anyone, like unless you're well acquainted with someone, for someone to come up behind you with some, like that's like, hey.
That is kind of creepy. Oh, I was thinking more like, but like actually like an X-Man. Like he was there just like behind her, and now he's like behind her hugging. Like Nightcrawler would be like a tender lover because he could
he's got
teleport
the tail too.
and he could teleport all over.
Tail.
After dinner, we take the highway out of the city. I pester him with questions, but he won't even give me a clue as to where we're going. We take an exit to the west, down a road that threads through the hills for a while, then cuts into the cover of dense woods. Our headlights illuminate the trunks of the trees in front of us. Birch stands like sun-bleached bones spread as far as I can see. An odd peace washes over me. I can't tell if it's the isolated road, the quiet static of the car radio going in and out, or something more. As we drive farther down the road, the radio goes out completely. My date smiles at me. Getting excited? Sorta, he questions, then makes the connection. You're not getting nervous, are you? I smile, but don't answer. There's nothing to be nervous about, he says, trying to reassure me. It doesn't work.
The story doesn't have to go too many other places because I'm scared.
Well, he's probably taking her to the woods, remote, a place where people can't hear her screams, or at least tell or discern where the screams are coming from.
It would be funny if it did seem very scary and then at the end he was like, we're going camping with my grandma.
Oh, I think she's gonna kill him.
Oh!
That's what I think.
That'd be good.
I roll down the window and start to notice a noise in the distance, growing louder. It's a mixture of music and crowd. tangerine glow begins to peek out from between the leaves and branches, meeting the pale yellow of our headlights. Suddenly, the trees thin, and I gasp. We enter a small town in a burst of life and light. The main street is blocked, and instead of traffic, a carnival glows in the early evening. String lights crisscross street lights and storefronts, the latter filled with elaborate displays. A live band strums away somewhere out of sight. Smiling strangers mill about everywhere, the brisk September air not stopping what seems like the whole town from showing up.
I love a little carnival.
Even if it's in the remote woods with a town that's obviously been there and wants to be hidden.
Oh, do you think this is a magic town?
It seems like a magic town. The radio's not working.
It sounds a lot like in my hometown of Schaumburg, Illinois, when we have Septemberfest.
Sure, yes. I'm
There's
sure it looks
popcorn and rides and chicken. I think Smash Mouth played once.
Oh, wow. Smash Mouth? How'd you book them?
It was sort of in their, they're not
decline.
doing great. They didn't remember most of the words
To All-Star?
to the song. Even that one, I think, was a little rough, but they were there.
We find a parking spot and get out of the car. The chill of the night filling my lungs along with the scent of cinnamon, apples, smoking meats, and decaying foliage. I take a few steps, drawn to the bustle of the town. This is beautiful, I say breathlessly. I'm so glad you like it, he chuckles. I read about this online and thought of you. You mentioned on our first date you'd like to someday live in a small town. He's right. I did say that. I didn't think he'd heard, but he had. I smile and grab his hand as we walk into the town. Looming at the far end of Main Street stands a Ferris wheel. We make our way there first, and from the top, I can see the whole town. I survey the crowd, letting my eyes wander from face to face until they lock onto one particular man. A bit taller than most of the rest of the crowd, wearing a long blue coat. As the wheel turns, bringing us back towards the ground, I realize the stranger is looking back. He's locked eyes with me and isn't looking away. This is actually a bit of a left turn here. I didn't even consider that maybe he's a good guy and she's a good gal, and then some other outside force will kill them.
Is luring them.
Or just like a dude who wants to kill them.
It's like an evil brigadoon.
The hair on my arm stands up, and an uncomfortable tickle drips down my spine. I look away, then back. He's still there, still staring. Suddenly, my date laughs, and I break my gaze. He points to a boy with a cotton candy, which he is feeding to a dog when the owner looks away. I chuckle, then look back out over the town. The stranger in the blue coat is nowhere to be found. How long is too long for a stranger to stare at you? Before you're alarmed. Like, let's say you're at Whole Foods, you're looking around, you catch somebody that may be looking at you. How long is it before you're like, what the hell's going on?
Let me pretend we're strangers. We're at Barnes & Noble.
I have a book, but I'm not reading it.
I'm getting a little chai latte. Okay. It's about 3/4 of a second.
How about this? Do it again.
That worked. The immediate look away.
Makes it feel like.
Yeah.
Now, you know this about me. I zone out.
Yeah,
And when I zone out, I'll
stare?
just stare straight ahead. And sometimes I've come to and I've been just staring at a person. Like, it happened to me recently on vacation.
Yeah.
I don't remember what I was thinking about. And when I came to, there was just a guy eating eggs and he was looking directly at me with this confused look at his face. And I was just like,
very scary.
sorry. Once off the ride, we wander back and forth down the street. I want cotton candy, so we find the snack booth and hop in line. We order, and before either of us can grab a wallet, a quiet voice sounds out from just behind us. It's on me. Welcome. I turn and see the man in the blue coat. Up close, I see his eyes. A cold, steely gray. Before my date can protest, the man hands the cashier the money. He doesn't try to make more conversation, just pleasantly smiles at me. My date thanks him hesitantly, but the stranger doesn't acknowledge him in return. He just smiles at me, as if another man isn't standing there, holding my hand. We head off, arm in arm, now holding the cotton candy. I turn back once to see if the stranger is still staring. but he's gone. Wow, this is fucked up, man. If some other dude, cucked me on my own date, we got a problem, buddy. I don't care how tall and creepy you are. That cotton candy is mine to purchase, you son of a bitch.
I like that he was like, gave him the money before my date could protest. I'm imagining him being like, I'll get that, and the date being like,
I was gonna do that. It was me. I had the flowers. I had it all planned out. Fuck. We stroll through the midway. After a while, our unease from the stranger fades, and we start to enjoy the sights. After feeding some animals at a makeshift petting zoo, my date asks me if I'm thirsty. How about I grab us a couple glasses of rosé? It sounds nice, something to wash away the last vestiges of unease. He heads off towards a cart selling wine as I take some pictures. I walk a little, pivoting my camera to capture new light and angles. I look down to check a photo, but once again, I'm taken in by a pair of gray eyes. I raise my head to look at the spot I just photographed. I see a head of dark hair emerging from the collar of a blue coat just in front of me. It's the stranger. I didn't notice him standing there when I took the picture, but he's there now, staring. An icy chill drips down my spine, and I instinctively glance back towards the drink cart, looking for the man I came with. I don't see him. The crowd is thin here. I should be able to spot him. I call out for him, turning in circles. Nothing. I grab my phone to call his cell. No answer. I walk up to the drink cart and ask the vendor if he saw my date. He said he hasn't seen anyone fitting that description tonight. I sit down on a bench to think. Maybe he forgot his wallet and ran back to the car. Maybe he's just run to the bathroom. I'm sure there's an explanation.
I was at a fair once in Chicago with my parents.
Yeah.
And I got some Harold's chicken, and it was about 110 degrees out.
I see where this is going.
And it was very spicy. They, I think, went to go get some other food there, and I was like, well, I'm just walking around having a grip. Uh-oh. Yeah. And I had to beeline it toward, they just had like a huge bank of porta potties.
Yeah.
And I was just shitting my brains out.
Gotcha.
And sweating.
Nice.
Because I was like in a like a little Hurt Locker situation. Yeah. I was in there for, I think, a good 25 minutes. I came out and I was wet. And they were genuinely worried. They were like, we didn't know where you were. So maybe that's what happened here. Maybe this guy's just got a really bad case of,
He's got a howler on deck.
Exactly right. He's got to release the hostages.
That's right. Several minutes go by with no sign of him. I take a breath. I have to get somewhere where I can see. I run back to the Ferris wheel and hop on an open basket. I don't sit down but lean over the side, already scanning the crowd even though I'm barely off the ground. The basket rocks as the operator closes the door and I start to move. Suddenly, I hear a gentle, wry, ahem. Someone had boarded the basket when the door was shut. I sigh in relief and turn to expect my date, but I'm greeted instead by the gray-eyed stranger. I open my mouth to yell, to tell the ride operator to stop, but nothing comes out. He tilts his head as he returns my silent gaze. Suddenly, this basket is very small. I scrunch myself into the corner without taking my eyes off of him. I was wondering when we'd get a moment alone. He speaks quietly, just like he had at the cotton candy booth. His gray eyes try to tell me something, but all I hear are his words. I'd hoped you'd come up here at least one more time before you left.
What if he's the boyfriend in the future?
It's possible. I don't think so. Probably more likely that this guy's just a huge creep.
I can't totally call him out at this point, though. It seems like...
That's a pretty call out. I think at this point he's crossed the line.
I think he is a creep, but I'm not sure where to file him at this point in the creep files.
Oh, I see, yeah.
Because, there's some Slender Man qualities to him, but he also has those sexy, steely gray eyes.
Yeah, and also in Slender Man, if he's a part of a species, perhaps this is how they mate.
Well, Slender Man too, though. If you see him at a carnival, you're gonna be like, "That's a fucking Slender Man." Everybody look out.
That's true.
Kill him. Everybody kill him right now.
You just made me realize it's probably really hard for Slender Man to date. If he wanted to find love, it's gonna be a tough get for him.
It's gonna be a slender.
He's gonna have to find a slender woman.
Yeah.
Do I know you? I ask. I'm shaking now, balled up in the corner of the seat. I grasp the freezing metal bars and watch as they fog up from the heat of my palms. Very funny, he smiles wryly and stretches his arm out to rest it on my shoulders. Please don't. My voice shakes as I utter the words. He pauses and looks on with a puzzled look, as if he's reading how serious I am. If you touch me, I'll scream. I try to keep my voice steady. He seems to take me seriously, and he keeps his hands to himself as we cycle back towards the ground. The whole time, I keep one eye on this stranger while the other frantically scans the crowd, searching for my date to no avail. "What are you looking for?" the stranger says, breaking the silence with his hushed voice. I try to ignore him, deciding I just need to wait for the wheel to take me back to the ground. I wish you would relax. I took care of him.
Did he kill the boyfriend?
It's okay. I killed him.
Hey, your friend, he's dead. Don't worry.
That's got to be top 5 in bad things to say to make someone get at ease. My stomach drops like a rock. What the hell are you talking about? This time, he turns away from me. When the Ferris wheel finally comes to a stop, I bolt. The stranger's hand grasps at my sweater in an attempt to hold me back. He snags a corner, but I pull free and start to run. I have no idea where to go. I search wild through an unyielding crowd, but I see nothing. I find the alcove of a small shop a block off Main Street. As I call my date's number again, I peer into the display window. It's one of the few that holds no displays or attraction to passerby. It looks closed, and I can't even tell what kind of store it is. Doo-da-doo, doo-da-doo.
What? Ryan, no time for singing.
Ringtone nearby. That's his ringtone?
Do-da-do.
Do-da-do. It's not even a tone, it's just him singing. I was in an a cappella group in college. This is me and the boys.
I come up with songs like this all the time. I guess I'm kind of an artsy guy.
I stand stock still, faintly, implausibly. I can just make out my date's subdued ringtone nearby. I look up and realize the sound is squeezing out of a small window cracked above the shop's door. I grab at the handle to find that it's unlocked. I step in, and thinking of the stranger and his gray eyes, lock the door behind me. I call out my date's name. Nothing. I use my phone flashlight to look around. Apart from a wooden shelf and a metal filing cabinet, it's completely bare. Towards the back is a door, slightly ajar. I step towards it and pull it open. Immediately, I'm hit with a wall of putrid, rotten air. Somewhere in here, I can still hear my date's phone ringing. I hit a cigarette-yellowed light switch next to the door, and a single bare bulb in the middle of the room casts the room in a weak light. There, on the ground, are his shoes. Pouring out of them is blood and thin, sinewy strands of something, leading to a soaking pile of dark clothing, on top of which sits his phone. From this pile, more cords shoot off, more blood, and then it hits me. It's my date.
No shit, Sherlock. There's his shoes and his sinew.
She's just clocking this slowly. Shoes, those are his.
Phone. There's his eyeballs and his teeth.
Yeah, that looks like his ear.
I should tell him about this.
Oh my God.
Wait a minute.
That's him! I gag and try to look away, but I can't. He's been stretched, as if he'd just been pulled well past the breaking point. What I thought were cords are strands of flesh and ligament, sprawled out roughly in the shape of a body. My knees give out and I collapse onto the sticky tile. I cannot seem to move anymore or take my eyes off of this horror. After what feels like an eternity, I finally force myself back to my feet and out of that awful room. As I reach the door back to the front room, I hear a quiet voice. I told you. I took care of him. The stranger's voice echoes behind me. It sounds gentle, friendly. He won't get between us anymore. Everything's going to be all right again. I look up and see gray eyes. I'm paralyzed by fear, my mouth gawking open in a soundless scream. The eyes are the stony gray of the stranger, but the rest of the face, it's my date. It's the face of the man I came here with, save for those eyes, those cruel gray eyes. You're just like her. Soon, you'll feel just like her too. Who are you? I scream. Hush, he gently whispers. You said you wouldn't scream if I didn't touch you, but now, He leans down and takes one of my hands. Immediately, I recoil. His touch burns like acid. The skin of his hand is sheer. I can see a dark fluid pulse underneath its surface. With his other hand, he takes my face, and I cry out. I feel as if I'm going to melt away under his touch. The pain on my cheek shocks me free from my paralysis, and I reach out a desperate hand to claw at those horrible eyes. He shrieks, and I dart to the far side of the room.
I love a shriek.
Yeah, like a big tall man too. He probably sounds crazy. It probably sounds like multiple people shrieking. Like if you shriek, probably what it would sound like. Put that in a library somewhere.
Or like on one of those spooky Halloween mixes.
Yeah.
Ryan and Shane shrieks.
Feels it's gonna be like it's misused, perhaps.
Well, they'll be in quick succession, so it'll be like, ah! Oh! Ah!
Yeah, I can't see that being misused by the internet at all. Stop fighting, I hear his voice echo and amplify impossibly off the wooden slats of the walls. It's not commanding, but rather pleading. You're hurting me. It starts to move towards me, and I don't know what to do. A few feet away, an old piece of shelf lies on the ground. I lunge for it and swing it towards this stranger, this thing, catching it in the side of the head. A sharp corner of the wood rips open a gash on its face, and it hits the floor. The liquid that spills out of its face isn't blood exactly, but something darker, more viscous. The gray eyes begin to dim, but they are still fixed squarely on me. His voice is hoarse, a whisper. Why would you hurt me? I close my eyes as I stand over this thing. I take the piece of shelf I am still gripping and hit it again and again and again until those gray eyes are gone and all I can see is ochre-colored secretion. I drop the wood and it clatters on the floor. Jesus Christ, just beating his head to a pulp. I actually do think that if someone popped out, like it was like someone trying to kill me on a Ghost Files shoot, I would be so scared and like triggered in that moment that I probably would kill them.
Yeah, if you got pushed to the point where you were attacking someone and fighting to the death, yes. I think you would continue to beat them for approximately 50 minutes after.
Until you found me.
Yeah.
I open the front door and stand on the pavement for a moment, then begin to walk out of town. No one notices as I pass by. No one notices as I enter the woods. No one is around as I walk for miles, my tears never drying up, and that rancid smell never leaving my nostrils. I walk for what seems like hours until my legs give way beneath me. When I wake up, the doctors tell me that days have passed since a hiker found me. I ask about my date and the stranger, but they deny having found anything that night. I fall in and out of sleep, waiting for my family to arrive. My father finally enters the room, and I begin to cry, not from relief, but at the sight of his now gray eyes shining in his head. You're just like her, he whispers. So, are you scared? So I guess this creature became the dad now?
But Papa have gray eyes now.
But Papa does have gray, it's because it's
Slim Jim is Papa now.
It's just that there was a demon inhabiting him and now he just jumped.
Slim
to
Jim
a new
demon now
person.
go to Papa, Papa have gray eyes. Dr. Steve Bergara comes home and you go, Papa, Papa, what's for dinner?
Yeah.
And he goes,
that's exactly how
and
I
looks
rate
at
my
you
dad.
with eyes you've never seen before.
And I'd be like, Papa, gray eyes, why?
Right.
Why didn't he just possess the boyfriend and then he could have what he wants? I guess actually the bigger question is, who is this her that broke the devil's heart or the demon's heart?
I guess just a sexy lady.
All right, well that story was written by Abigail Bergstrasser. Almost my name there for a second.
Basically the same, yeah.
Basically the same name. Well, thank you Abigail for the story and I guess we'll see you all next week.